Picture this. It is April 23, 2026, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The NFL draft stage is glowing under the lights. Commissioner Roger Goodell walks to the podium. The Cleveland Browns are on the clock at pick number 6. The war room is tense. General Manager Andrew Berry has a phone in his hand, and the question that has been debated for months on podcasts, on ESPN, on every single sports radio show in Cleveland is still not answered. Do the Browns take Ohio State wide receiver Carnell Tate, or do they protect the blindside and grab Georgia offensive tackle Monroe Freeling? And then there is pick number 24, also first round, same night, which means Cleveland has 2 golden tickets to reshape their entire offense in one evening. But here's the thing, this is not just a debate between fans arguing online. Draft analysts, ESPN insiders, CBS sports writers, and even the Browns' own front office are split. There is no consensus. Nobody agrees. And that is exactly what makes this one of the most electric draft storylines of the entire 2026 season. So today, we are going deep, all the way deep, into these 2 picks, the debate they have sparked across the NFL world, and why draft night could either save this franchise or set them back another 2 painful years. Let's go. To understand why this decision is so massive, you first have to understand how the Browns even got here. Cleveland finished the 2025 NFL season with a 5-12 record, dead last in the AFC North. That is not just bad, that is historically bad for a team that has been trying to rebuild and compete for years. Their offense was a complete disaster from start to finish. ESPN's Daniel Oyehosi reported that the Browns had the least productive receiver room in the entire NFL in 2025. Think about that for a second. 32 teams in the league. The Browns finished dead last at wide receiver. Jerry Jeudy, a guy they were counting on to be a legitimate threat, never lived up to expectations in Cleveland. The rest of the group? Cedric Tillman, Isaiah Bond, not exactly names that keep defensive coordinators up at night. And the offensive line situation was even worse. DeJuan Jones, their projected starting left tackle, has now suffered 3 consecutive season-ending leg injuries, 3 years in a row. His backups performed so badly that Cleveland's offensive line ranked 31st in the entire league, 31st out of 32. Head coach Kevin Stefanski was let go and replaced by Todd Monken, one of the most creative offensive minds in football. New energy, new system, new attitude, but also enormous pressure to get results fast. So when the 2026 NFL Draft arrived, Andrew Berry and Todd Monken sat down and knew exactly what needed to be fixed. Wide receiver, left tackle. Those 2 holes are bleeding the offense dry. And thanks to a brilliant trade Berry made in the 2025 draft, moving down from pick 2 to pick 5 and still landing a quality rookie class, the Browns came into this year holding pick 6 overall, pick 24 overall from Jacksonville, and 9 total draft picks across all rounds. 2 first-round picks, 2 massive needs. The chessboard is set. Let's talk about the wide receiver need first, because it is honestly hard to overstate how bad this situation is. The Browns' wide receivers combined for just 1,467 total receiving yards in 2025. Some individual receivers around the league top 1,400 yards on their own. Todd Monken needs a real weapon. He needs a player who can line up on the outside, win contested catches, create separation on deep and intermediate routes, and be a legitimate threat on every single down. And the 2026 draft class has exactly that player. His name is Carnell Tate. Tate is 21 years old. He played at Ohio State from 2023 to 2025. In his final season with the Buckeyes, he caught 51 passes for 875 yards and 9 touchdowns in just 11 games. But it is the advanced numbers that really separate him from the rest of this class. He caught 12 of 14 contested catch opportunities. That is a class-leading 85.7% contested catch rate. His average depth of target was 14.6 yards down the field. His yards per route run was 3.02, one of only 3 receivers in this entire draft class to crack the 3-yard mark. At 6'2", 195 pounds, Tate has elite size, elite hands, and route running technique that usually takes NFL receivers 2 or 3 years to develop. On PFF's mock draft simulator, Carnell Tate has become the single most common pick for the Browns at number 6, showing up in 35.7% of all simulations. That is not a coincidence. That is the market telling you something. Now let's flip to the offensive line need, and the player at the center of that debate, Monroe Freeling. Freeling is a 21-year-old offensive tackle from the University of Georgia. He stands 6'7" and weighs 315 pounds. He has rare fluidity in his lower body for a player his size. One scout described him as moving like a tight end in space. He ran the 40-yard dash in 4.93 seconds, has 34 3/4-inch arms, and showed genuine quality reacting to inside pass rush counters at the combine. Before the NFL Scouting Combine in Indianapolis, almost nobody had Freeling projected as a top 10 pick. He was seen as a day 2 selection. Then he performed in Indianapolis, and everything changed. His stock exploded overnight. ESPN Cleveland host Tony Rizzo reported that the Browns are actually leaning toward Freeling at the top of the draft. Browns fans immediately started debating whether that is smart or one of the worst possible decisions Cleveland could make at this pick. CBS sports writer Josh Edwards appeared on the Sick podcast and said flat out that he is not even sure Freeling is a first-round talent. He said there is a wide range of opinions on Freeling around the league. Edwards added that in his view, Carnell Tate is the safer pick at number 6, the more reliable, more certain choice. So even among professional analysts who do this for a living, the disagreement is real and it runs deep.
And then, just when you think the debate is between two players, ESPN NFL insider Jordan Reed throws a third name into the fire: Alabama offensive tackle Kadyn Proctor. A source confirmed that Proctor visited the Browns facility before the draft. Proctor is 6'7", a consensus All-American in 2025, first-team All-SEC, and showed elite athleticism at the Combine. Reed noted that if Cleveland is focused on tackle at number 6 but has questions about Freeling, Proctor is the alternative with significant upside. So now you have 3 legitimate possibilities at the 6th pick, and Andrew Berry has not tipped his hand on any of them. The man is impossible to read, and he likes it that way. Now let's actually get into the heart of the argument, because both sides have real, intelligent cases to make. The case for taking Carnell Tate at pick 6 is built on one central truth. The drop-off at wide receiver between pick 6 and pick 24 is much greater than the drop-off at offensive tackle in the same range. Ryan Wilson of CBS Sports appeared on the Ken Carman Show and said if it comes down to Tate versus Freeling at number 6, Cleveland should sprint up to the podium and take the wide receiver. His reasoning is simple. A top 10 wide receiver becomes your WR1 immediately. He is contributing from week 1. An offensive lineman taken in the same spot, especially a project tackle like Freeling who only has 1 year of starting experience, is not even guaranteed to see the field consistently in year 1. ESPN Cleveland analyst Eric Golden made the exact same point, asking why you would take the player who needs more time to develop when Carnell Tate is sitting right there ready to play day 1. ESPN insider Matt Miller also reported that the chatter around the league is that wide receiver is genuinely in play at number 6 for Cleveland. That is not fan speculation. That is insider information from someone with real sources inside NFL buildings. And there is one more layer here: Andrew Berry's history at the position. Over 6 full seasons as Browns GM, the largest investment Berry ever made at wide receiver was trading a mid-second-round pick to the Jets for Elijah Moore. That is it. He has chronically underinvested at receiver for years. Pick 6 is the moment to finally change that pattern, commit real capital to the most important skill position on the offense, and give Todd Monken a weapon he can actually build an offense around. But the case for Monroe Freeling at number 6, or Kadyn Proctor, is also genuinely compelling, and serious people believe it. The argument starts here. Franchise left tackles are rarer than elite wide receivers. When you have a chance to lock one up in the top 10, you take him, because if you wait until pick 24, he might not be there. Freeling's ceiling, according to multiple analysts, is all pro.
His measurables, size, arm length, athleticism, are the measurables that teams build their offensive line around for a decade or more. After 3 straight years of watching DeJuan Jones go down with injuries and backups embarrassing the entire organization, the idea of finally planting a real, legitimate left tackle who can protect the quarterback for the next 10 to 12 years is hard to argue against. There is also a roster-building philosophy argument at play. Offensive linemen have longer, more consistent careers and create value across every single play of every game. Run plays, pass plays, short yardage, red zone. Investing at pick 6 in a blindside protector lays a foundation that benefits any quarterback, and the Browns desperately need that foundation regardless of who starts under center. But the case for Monroe Freeling at number 6, or Kadyn Proctor, is also genuinely compelling, and serious people believe it. The argument starts here. Franchise left tackles are rarer than elite wide receivers. When you have a chance to lock one up in the top 10, you take him, because if you wait until pick 24, he might not be there. Freeling's ceiling, according to multiple analysts, is all-pro. His measurables, size, arm length, athleticism, are the measurables that teams build their offensive line around for a decade or more. After 3 straight years of watching DeJuan Jones go down with injuries and backups embarrassing the entire organization, the idea of finally planting a real, legitimate left tackle who can protect the quarterback for the next 10 to 12 years is hard to argue against. There is also a roster-building philosophy argument at play. Offensive linemen have longer, more consistent careers and create value across every single play of every game. Run plays, pass plays, short yardage, red zone. Investing at pick 6 in a blindside protector lays a foundation that benefits any quarterback, and the Browns desperately need that foundation regardless of who starts under center.
Then there is the trade down option hanging over all of this like a storm cloud that will not go away. ESPN's Bill Barnwell proposed a specific trade where Cleveland sends pick 6 and pick 24 to the Dallas Cowboys and gets back picks 12, 20, and a 2027 second-round pick. Andrew Berry himself acknowledged to Bleacher Report that he is open to trading down. He did it in 2025, moving from pick 2 to pick 5. He has shown throughout his entire tenure that he loves accumulating picks, loves flexibility, and loves having more bullets to build the roster. So on April 23rd, do not be shocked, not even slightly, if the Browns are not on the clock at pick 6 because they have already made a call and traded down. Berry is always playing 3 moves ahead of everyone else in the room. Now let's talk about who could realistically be there at pick 24 for the second piece of this puzzle. If the Browns take Tate at 6, they will want a tackle at 24. The names most connected to that spot include Caleb Lomu of Utah, a raw but athletically gifted tackle, and Kadyn Proctor of Alabama, if he somehow slides past other teams. On the receiver side, if Cleveland goes tackle first at 6, analysts have connected them to Makai Lemon of USC, who caught 79 passes for over 1,100 yards and 11 touchdowns in 2025, and Casey Concepcion of Texas A&M, who has been praised heavily for his playmaking ability and yards after contact. Some analysts have even floated Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson at pick 24, though his stock has been sliding as draft day approaches. The flexibility of having 2 first-round picks gives Berry options that most teams in a rebuild simply do not have. He can mix and match, trade into or out of either slot, and still come away with 2 legitimate starters if he executes correctly. The Cleveland Browns have not had 2 first-round picks in the same draft in years. They have not had a WR1 worth talking about in even longer. They have not had a reliable left tackle protect their quarterback consistently since the position was actually a priority. Tonight, April 23rd, all of that changes in some direction. Either Carnell Tate walks to the stage in a Browns hat and Cleveland finally has its receiver, or Monroe Freeling or Kadyn Proctor puts on that orange and brown and the blindside is finally addressed with premium capital. Or Andrew Berry does what Andrew Berry does, makes a call nobody expected and acquires more picks while still building toward a 2027 that looks completely different from the last 3 years of this franchise. Whatever happens, the Cleveland Browns are one of the most important teams to watch on draft night. 2 picks, Two massive needs, one front office that plays chess when everyone else is playing checkers. The debate has been going on for months. In a matter of days, it ends, and the answer will tell us everything about where this franchise is truly headed.
This video is for entertainment and informational purposes only. All opinions expressed are based on publicly available information, analyst commentary, and media reports as of April 2026. Draft projections and player evaluations are speculative in nature. Stats and quotes are sourced from ESPN, CBS Sports, Bleacher Report, Dogs by Nature, Dog Pound Daily, Browns Nation, and the Cleveland Browns official website. This channel is not affiliated with the Cleveland Browns, the NFL, or any of the organizations mentioned.